November marked my first year anniversary for my departure from Facebook. It's been peaceful, might I add. So I thought to finally upload my reasons for leaving that particular social network scene. It's a popularity contest, false reality, privacy invasion, distraction, and addictive. As I explain my analysis based upon my personal experience, decide for yourselves if you truly believe Facebook is as helpful to your life as you thought. How much of a popularity contest it is was like high school all over again. It's more like an ideal place for narcissists than it is for friends. If you're not one, popular or a narcissist, it can be quite boring. I thought it was lame when I first got on it. Honestly, I liked my MySpace better, although it had its issues too, all of its own. That's another story. I deactivated my Facebook once before, and I took plenty of hiatuses. My friends could tell you that. But anywho, I tried to like Facebook only because I was told by peers I should, since it was the more mature social network. It held that status until it was no longer exclusive to high schoolers and above. For anyone who has battles or battle with low self esteem, Facebook exacerbates it. At least in my experience, it did. You can have those days where you view people's pictures or see most liked and commented on pictures and statuses to the point where you compare yourself to these popular, beautiful people. That then escalates to momentary feelings of insecurity or bouts of depression. In worst cases, it can lead you to envy into either find fault in them or model to look and act like them, never even realizing that people are doing the same concerning you. I had close friends and family tell me that I had inappropriate pictures. Of course, I didn't like hearing it at first, but later I appreciated it because it was true. They cared enough and were bold enough to tell me, despite how I would take it. I grew to ask some close friends opinions later on if I was doubtful about any of the pictures I was posting as far as my modesty is concerned. On another occasion, in contrast, I got a couple of mean, judgmental responses aimed right at my self esteem the first time I did Truth Fox. That quickly taught me not to ask people's opinions about me to boost me up, but to have confidence in myself. At times, people I tried to reach through statuses misunderstood me, or they didn't comfort me in the way I wanted. In another situation, my statuses never got the credit it needed through that medium, though I knew I was a good writer with relevant information to share. I learned not to get discouraged because their approval or lack of didn't reflect my skill or the power and purpose my words had to help people. God eventually showed me my time of influence through Facebook was over and I must move on. A false reality. In this place where everyone is a celebrity, nothing is off limits. Traps abound. Friendships, relationships, marriages, or families could be sabotaged by the sins of word committed with others via private messages, gossip, or plans of betrayal or infidelity. People enjoy seeing the cycle of added and deleted friends, the closest ones being the best entertainment for some. If you don't give them that, if you don't give them that satisfaction yourself, anyone could scheme for it to happen behind the scenes. In the world of Facebook, many people believe a relationship isn't legit until it has been announced on the wall of Facebook. In actuality, those relationships become worse if even one of the couples has an active life on Facebook. But back to friends. You don't seem important or even normal in this Facebook world if your friend count reflects the amount of friends you actually have in real life. The greater, the more normal and functional you are, supposedly. And the least, the more socially awkward and a risk to society you are. There's a social disconnect created there too, with the increase of falsehoods and fantasies you consent to participate in. Many people aren't who they are in person, who they present themselves to be online. People adapt to their alters and perform their roles. That's how they can be arrogant, proud, disrespectful, and act inhumanely. Bullies thrive there because, like everyone else, they become desensitized to the reality of the pain, stress, and intense feelings people have. They see it every day, all day, and it's always something. It was there that you could learn how your biggest enemies turned out to be those people closest to you. Not only that, just how superficial your relations with specific people were became obvious to yourself simultaneously as your onlookers too. Motivation to change, to get closer as you should, spark. Or the new reality merited the friend delete button. Amidst this false reality, it created new problems that were formerly non existent, and it revealed ugly truths that wouldn't ordinarily have been exposed so soon, if even at all. Worse than outright bullies is the major number of guilty bystanders. So many people viewing your life with access to you, but love and their availability to you is increasingly distant. No one genuinely cares. At the very least, bullies have enough passion and some sense of caring to simply acknowledge a person's existence. For people to be unaffected isn't normal or humane. Another startling trend that was unreal was the death pages. How people can create Facebook pages as obituaries commemorating them, or log into their friend's page to create a final status right after that person had died is beyond me. I'm sure some people thought it was honorable in a way to continue what their friend would have done, but I see it as disrespect for the dead. That's another place that's not off limits. I see it that way, especially knowing that some people are following popular culture and the elite, which are deceitful and evil. They got the average Joes publicizing these death pages for their real loved ones so they can keep mixing in their phony ones. People have been so desensitized brainwashed, deceived, and emotionally manipulated. Most can't feel authentic emotion or know the truth. For those few who were enlightened to the madness through any experience of the false reality examples I named, they were fortunate enough to be in their right frame of mind to overcome by removing themselves from the cesspool so they could live again. I can imagine, though, that not everyone was fortunate enough to be enlightened to the false reality and also to get out. Some may have fallen victim to the matrix and decided on the least honorable escape route. Sobering, huh? A privacy invasion. People voluntarily give up sensitive information and, and give easy access to their identity through one, pictures, two, contact information, three, work history, four, location, five, your lover, six, friends, seven, family, eight, likes and dislikes. Your family, friends, enemies, employees, advertisers, apps, read, store, and share your information. Do you think the FBI, CIA, and other government agencies wouldn't? They don't even have relations with you. So it sure wouldn't be for benevolent purposes like your security either. Don't be naive. Think about Sandy Hook and the page that stormed up. I provided a link I want to share with you. Um, when you get to that page, you decide for yourself if it's true or not. As for me, I read both sides of the story. I read comments. So yeah, they can, will, and have already used personal shared information against people in the court of law too. Think about Trayvon Martin in the George Zimmerman trial. They can implement you in something that will. Think about the Boston bomber. I'm also including something in the panel, the description panel, um, of a YouTube video. And just know I'm aware that this is satire, but they made some valid points underneath the humor. So look for that up under the false reality title in the description panel. A distraction. I think everyone can relate to Facebook distracting them from important things they should have been doing. Maybe for you, it might be your job, marriage, or family. It distracted me from my schoolwork. I spent lots of time on Facebook before I did my class assignments, which more than likely were due within the next couple of days. And that's on a lesser note. But even worse than that, it distracted me from doing real ministry. And by that I mean talking to people face to face. It was an indirect ministry for me. Why talk to a stranger about Jesus when I can just give them my Facebook information? They can friend me and be evangelized by status updates. Doesn't sound good when you say it out loud, huh? But that's what I thought. And I can admit that because I know I'm not the only one. And the worst thing is, it distracted me from quality communication with God, my Father. I spent more time seeing other people's problems and talking about my own than I did giving them to God. Addictive. Whether you like it for the opportunity to emotionally vent, to get your self confidence boosted, to appease boredom, to replace your communication with the outside world, or to feel like you're doing ministry, it can be addictive. You know you've got an addiction when you start to experience withdrawal symptoms when you're away from it for a long period of time. If it's so embedded into your daily routine to the point where you can't function and can't even consider terminating it, then that's a sure sign that you're addicted. If not an addiction, at the very least, it's unhealthy for you. True example. There were times when instead of enjoying my time out with friends and family, I look forward to posting the thoughts and realities of my life rather than living it. And another time, I really knew it was a problem when I was struggling to delete a certain picture a friend of mine called me out on. Yeah, what I was referring to in um, the popularity contest part. She asked me why, and I told her I didn't know why I was feeling that way. But I finally looked deep down and admitted it did something for my self esteem. It was a quick boost, but it wasn't a pure one. That wasn't what I needed. It was a replacement. And the only way I could feel better again was to keep it up. I chose not to. Only God could do wonders for my self esteem. Although it took struggle, I gave God his place. He is my source for everything. His results are permanent. I can always come back for more reassurance with no side effects, only guaranteed satisfaction. All in all, just like the entire cyberspace, Facebook can be a tool for good or evil. With that consideration, ask yourself if this is building you up or tearing you down. Are you becoming a better contributor to your community, knowing more frequently and descriptively the thoughts, feelings, and needs of others? Are you part of the group that's tearing others down? Or just helping them to feel worse about themselves by ignoring them while at the same time benefiting from them adding to your friend count? If none of these, possibly, is Facebook occupying you when you could have better things to do?